As the President of the United States, you run into a lot of problems that comes along with being the world's top superpower. Other nations trying to take you down, groups of people threatening your resources, bad ideas spreading from country to country. And to solve these problems, one of the options we can use is diplomacy. Meeting with foreign leaders, arranging trade agreements, brokering peace agreements, which is the preferred method. However, sometimes diplomacy just won't cut it. Maybe the problem is with another rising superpower that's had enough of being in second place. Maybe it's a terrorist organization that hates your country's guts and can't be reasoned with. Whatever the reason is, if diplomacy doesn't work, the second option we have is war. Now, even though war can be very profitable, most of the time it's just not a very wise idea. If you declare war on another rising superpower or a smaller country that's in a pact with said rising superpower, it could cause World War III or a nuclear war, which would be the end of all of us. Your populace might not support going to war at the moment, which would threaten your power. And there are a myriad of other reasons why war might be a terrible idea. So if you have a problem that threatens America's power and influence, but diplomacy isn't working and war is unwise, what do? Enter covert action operations. The president's third option, or tertia optio, as it's called behind closed doors. Covert action is basically the president's hidden hand that allows him to use all sorts of unconventional warfare tactics against these national security threats, but that are done so in a way where if your covert operations leaked out to the public, you could just throw your hands up in the air and say, "Whoops, I didn't know that was happening." Covert action can be a whole range of things, from drone strikes to sabotage to paramilitary operations, snatch and grabs, to funding and trading rebels around the world that oppose our enemies, with the most extreme covert operations being assassinations. And who gets the pleasure of carrying out these covert operations, including the assassinations? That's right, the CIA. So let's learn how you as the president and the CIA can protect the free world, with your third option of assassinations. Theoretically, of course. This video was based on the book Surprise, Kill, Vanish: The Secret History of CIA Paramilitary Armies, Operators, and Assassins by Annie Jacobson, an incredible investigative journalist. Great book that covers everything you could want to know about this subject. No, she didn't sponsor this video or anything, but if you do want to dive into Surprise, Kill, Vanish, you can for free thanks to our actual sponsor, Audible, the world's largest audiobook platform. Basically, any major audiobook you want to listen to is on there. I have been using Audible almost every day of my life for the past 2 years. In fact, it was thanks to Audible that I came across the audiobook that forever changed the course of my life and got me into business, The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. Back then, I wasn't into reading physical books. I was too lazy like most people are. I told myself I didn't have time, and I didn't realize that you can find literally every single answer to every problem in life hidden in a book somewhere. So if it wasn't for how easy and convenient Audible makes consuming audiobooks, you probably wouldn't be watching these videos right now. Now I get to listen to audiobooks when I eat, clean, commute, every single chance I get. So when they reached out for a sponsor spot, I knew I had to jump the gun on this because this company has genuinely changed my life for the better, and I know it can for you too. So if you pause the video right now and go to audible.com/JakeTrent or text JakeTrent to 500-500, you'll get 1 Audible credit which you can use towards a free audiobook like Surprise, Kill, Vanish or Millionaire Fastlane, and you'll get unlimited monthly Audible originals as well. You'll also get a 30-day free trial, so if you decide to cancel, you can keep your audiobooks forever. So you're basically getting a free audiobook with no risk. So go to audible.com/JakeTrent or text JakeTrent to 500-500 right now. The link is on the screen and in the video description below.
Killing a leader or prominent person at the behest of the president is legal under Title 50 of the US Code.
It's the end of World War II. The world's greatest threat, Nazi Germany, was defeated, Europe was left in ruins, which left the US on the top. America took that pole position, which meant that they now had to do everything in their power to stay on top. But America wasn't alone. The Soviet Union gained a lot of land after the war. They had a much bigger population than the US back when sheer numbers really did matter, and they had big ambitions of their own. And almost instantly, Stalin, the Soviet Union, and communism emerged as the next greatest threat.
If we falter in our leadership, we may endanger the peace of the world.
The US declared communism as the enemy of democracy, Moscow had to be stopped, the National Security Act was passed in 1947, and boom! The CIA was born. And for the first time in history, the president had a secret paramilitary group authorized by Congress to carry out these hidden hand operations that we talked about in the name of national security at the president's beck and call. This new presidential power is what allowed JFK to plot to kill, I mean get rid of people like Castro. And it's what's allowed presidents like Bush and Obama to put people on a kill or capture list. And all their assassinations, attempted assassinations, paramilitary operations have all revolved around this dilemma. America's need to protect its interests and stay on top of the world stage without going to war. So let's say you have some kind of leader or prominent figure that's causing you trouble and you want to off them. How exactly would you go about doing that?
Issue a standing kill order on Jason Bourne, effective immediately.
Well, the first thing to understand is that assassination is the most extreme measure that should only be used if you tried every other option, because things can very quickly spiral out of control. So let's say you did try every other option and you decide that the only way to take care of this national security threat is to assassinate them. Well, the next step is to stop calling it assassination. Remember, we want some plausible deniability, so if word ever gets out, we can claim that we knew nothing about it. President Eisenhower's advisors didn't call it assassination. No, they called it eliminating, neutralizing, disabling foreign leaders with their health alteration committee. JFK referred to it as executive action or getting rid of someone. Reagan called it preemptive neutralization. George W. Bush called it lethal direct action, and so forth.
Why do they keep switching the names for it?
They're burying the information,
the data. Right.
And they keep switching around they switch around who has authority to, say, yes, let's go ahead and put this guy on the kill list. I mean, that was fascinating.
Ideally, instructions for health alterations should never be written down or recorded. The final decision to eliminate someone should always be reached in the field where the elimination will happen. In a perfect world, only one person would know about your neutralization, carry out the hit, and no report is made. But obviously, this isn't a perfect world. So just try to keep the decision confined to as little people as possible. Once the decision is reached, how you're gonna preemptively neutralize someone is gonna vary largely based on the situation.
Shoot her before him, but make sure he sees it. Or in this one, kill him, take him to his church, dump him in the pulpit. I'll leave the rest up to you.
The best assassination, the best lethal direct actions are the ones that aren't even considered assassinations in the first place. That is the gold standard we want to shoot for. There are a few variables we have to account for. The first one is the awareness of the subject. Simple means that the subject is unaware of the hit on him. Chase is when the subject is aware that you're after him but isn't guarded. Guarded means that they know about the potential hit and are guarded. Whether or not it's a simple, chase, or guarded case changes how we're gonna approach it. The next variable is the desired outcome of our assassin. Loss means we want the assassin to die with the subject. Safe means we want the assassin to escape after the job is done. But whether or not it's a loss or safe case, the assassin should never fall into the enemy's hands alive, which would be a disaster from all angles. Concealment is the next variable to consider. Do you require that everyone not think that they were assassinated? That would make this a secret case. Does it matter at all if people know that this was a hit? That would make this an open case. Do you need the public to know that this was an assassination in order for the hit to be effective? That would make this a terrorist case. In the case of Julius Caesar, that was a safe, simple terroristic job, meaning that the assassin escaped, Caesar was unaware of the hit on him, and they wanted the public to know about it. So now that you sorted out the awareness of the subject, the outcome of the assassin, the concealment of the case, let's move on to the assassin itself. Selecting your assassin will be based on whether or not it's a safe or lost job, whether you want the assassin to escape afterwards or die with the subject. For a lost case, the hitman needs to be a genuine fanatic of some sort. This can be a political, religious, or revenge-seeking fanatic. Fanatics that are willing to neutralize someone are probably gonna be psychologically unstable, so just handle them with care. In case they don't get neutralized themselves, you want to keep your identities a secret. If you intend for your assassin to escape, the CIA typically recruits former Special Forces operators because they're pretty much the perfect candidates. They're the best in their class, this is what they've been living and breathing their entire lives, they retire from the military and want to do these jobs. Or you can even employ active Special Forces soldiers in the case of bin Laden.
The misnomer is like, oh, the SEALs killed bin Laden. Well, they were SEALs trained, but that was a CIA mission because Pakistan is a sovereign nation and the military can't kill people in countries we're not at war with. So those guys all became essentially CIA operators for the night.
Whoa.
Right? And if you look at photographs, as I have seen, you'll notice that they have no markings on their outfits. so that if the job went south, it'd be like, I don't know who these guys are.
Overall, you want them in and out as quickly as possible. You want to put a lot of focus on the evac after the job is done. Ideally, you want to give the instructions orally as we mentioned earlier, and once you have your assassin or assassins, it's time to plan out that preemptive neutralization. Today, the CIA's most elite unit of assassins is nicknamed the Stalker Team, made up of around 12 members all with their own codenames. The Stalker Team's job is to make book on the unfortunate subjects listed on the killer capture list. Stalk them using recon and surveillance tactics the CIA perfected over the years to create dossiers on the targets. These individuals can be hiding anywhere, in caves or first world countries.
Once an individual was located in a general area, then it was developing patterns. What time he gets up in the morning, what time he leaves.
As we mentioned before, assassinations are a last-ditch effort that should only be finalized when in the field and ready to strike. From there, the Stalker Team creates plans on how they're going to handle different go orders they might receive. Blackmail, snatch and grab, sabotage, and of course, preemptive neutralization. How they're going to infiltrate, when, where, what the subject will be doing at the time, etc. So let's say you stalk them, come up with a dossier, plan out different go orders, and you get a go order to give them a health alteration. How are you going to do that? The entire point of assassination is the absolute death of the subject. Now this may sound obvious, but if you don't have a professional operator doing the job, some people might overlook the sureness of neutralization required because of all the emotions they're going to be going through. The attempt on Hitler's life failed because the conspiracy did not give this matter proper attention. Blunt objects come in handy since you'll be able to find one where the target is, and it's less likely to scream this was a professional hit job, if that's your concern. For secret cases where you don't want people knowing it was a hit, accidents are your best bet. Specifically, assisted falling accidents from a height of 75 feet or more onto a hard surface. Now, I am not advocating this, YouTube gods. The CIA is. No, that's not a joke. This is from an official document the CIA released. So, falling accidents. Make sure it's a hard surface, stairwells, elevator shafts, bridges. Water is too unreliable. You can case a good location, set up a meeting there, act like a horrified witness after it happens.
Oh, there's a man standing on the bridge. What? Yes, he looks like, look at that.
Car accidents, subway and train accidents, fires are too unreliable. And of course there's drugs, edge weapons, guns, other things that will get me demonetized if I talk too much about them. You get the idea. One noteworthy technique was employed by the KGB. Let me know if you guys want a video on them. They refer to assassinations as wet matters. One of their victims was a high-profile anti-communist Ukrainian politician named Lev Rebets. If it wasn't for a KGB double agent that defected to the US, we would have always thought that Lev died from a heart attack. But instead, as Lev was walking through a stairwell, the KGB agent passed by and used a custom tiny poison gun that sprayed atomized hydrogen cyanide into Lev's face, which caused him to collapse and be neutralized. So now you know the origin of these covert action operations. We needed another option when diplomacy wasn't working and we don't want to spark World War III. You know how we need plausible deniability in case word ever gets out via vague code names, riddles, compartmentalization. You know the classifications of different offing scenarios, the awareness of the subject, the outcome of the assassin, the concealment of the case. You know what to look for in an assassin. You know how to stalk and make book on a subject and come up with different plans for different go orders you might receive. And you know the different techniques that can be used for said health alterations. So now it's time to get out there and get started on those wet matters. Theoretically, of course. Today, the CIA Stalker Team is still very much active. They're still roaming the globe, chasing down and stalking foreign nationals that have been involved in planning or orchestrating terrorist attacks on the US. The hit list is classified, of course, with only one known target. The identity and fate of the rest of the targets? Your guess is as good as mine. So the question remains, is this third option worth it? The alternative is doing nothing or sending kids out to war. Let me know what you think in the beautiful place that is the comment section below.
Do I think it's a good thing? After talking to a lot of 20-year-old soldiers who come back from the war theater missing a limb or with intense PTSD, and who essentially serve as cannon fodder, I would say, my opinion. That's the second option, war. The 42 guys that I interviewed, they're like, send me. They are professional. They are tier 1 operators. They're Green Berets, they're SEALs, they're Delta. They retire, they join the CIA.
Yeah.
So they're like professionals at what they do. And they're saying, someone has to do this job. We've been doing this since the end of World War II. I want to do it. So do I think it's better? I mean, I think that concept speaks to choice, right? Because I'm not so sure that the 20-year-olds know what they're in for, and the 40-year-olds know what they're in for and are willing to do it.
So also the difference between a special.
Now, if I'm ever neutralized, as you guys like to remind me in like every single video, you guys, my Tran Mafia family, Yakuza cult members, can figure out what happened. If you guys are new to this channel and you enjoyed this video essay, you will probably enjoy the future ones because we have them coming out every single week on business, power, money. What was the other one? Business, power, money. Crime. Business, power, money, and crime. If you want more of those, subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Instagram, if you want like behind the scenes stuff, day in the life kind of stuff, me complaining about stuff, and you want to help me not be a pleb anymore because I'm only at like 5,000 followers on Instagram right now, and you want to help me get to 10K so I'm not a pleb, and so I can like aggressively, enthusiastically tell you guys to like swipe up right now, you can follow me on Instagram at jaketrend.io. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome. I've been Jake. As always, stay dangerous out there, guys. And I will see you guys in the next one.
Best job ever. Best job ever.
Best job ever.
Best job ever.